Okay. This is VoiceMaker. My panels are interactive. I do not stand up and just tell you about myself and try to sell stuff. Okay. My panels are interactive. You will be on your feet, and I'm going to have you, some of you read things. And I need 4 brave volunteers. Thank God I have more than 4 people. For a minute there I thought, I might be alone in this panel. 2 people show up, well guess what, you're all doing a lot of stuff. Okay, because I need 4 brave people to come back tomorrow. You'll be here? Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you. Come on, join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, guy with the cool hair. Happy birthday to you, and many more. How many people are there tonight? Wonderful, I love you. Welcome to Las Vegas. The scary thing in Vegas is they're really like that. Those lounge lizards, if you've ever been there, it is astounding. I'll be in the lobby. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's great. It's a beautiful day in Las Vegas. How you doing? Hey, I see a lot of people. Where are you from? I've been. Hey, did you say you're from Germantown? Hey, I spent a week there one night. Well, yeah. And then they get up on the keyboard, and 20 minutes later, you're going like, I need a shower. It feels that bad sometimes, Now, those of you thinking about a career in voiceover, or just actors, becoming actors, first bit of advice: become an actor. Learn how to act. Learn your craft. You may be able to do voiceover. It is an extremely specific and extremely difficult thing to do. And not everyone can do it. As a matter of fact, very few of us can. I'm very lucky in terms of, I taught the accents and the dialects at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I learned from the instructors there, the professors. I'm a phoneticist. These are all things that, for me, are very, very lucky in a way. I was born with the ability to hear a sound and make it. Extremely unusual. Accident of birth. People say, oh my God, you're fantastic. Well, in a lot of ways, this is an accident of birth. I'm just lucky that way. My mom with an ear for music, my dad with an ear for sound. Luckily, I was born to them, Well, the way to make voices, VoiceMaker, okay? What I'm going to do is demonstrate some things for you, and I'm going to have you listen for the qualities and identify them. Each and every one of you is going to leave here today with a sharper ear for sound and speech. It's just the way it works. The way I teach and the way you learn, you will be picking things up and hearing things differently and better after we're done today. Now, those of you who do want to try today and come back tomorrow, tomorrow is Voice Performer. What I give you today, you will do tomorrow for the panel. And you'll come up here. You'll have the other microphone. I even have backups over here if I need. And then the bit I'm going to have 2 of you do as neighbors, I'm going to do the last little bit. So we'll all kind of perform together. Now, VoiceMaker, how do you do it? How do you make the voices? One reason I created this panel was because everyone asks me, where do you come up with that idea? How did that come up? Where's the character? What made you think of that voice when you read the script or something like that? First of all, most of us voice performers have 1 million voices within us. Sometimes they come out and stop the voices, please stop the voices. It's almost like that sometimes because I just keep going. I'll sit there and I'll move from one voice to another. It gets a little crazier and crazier, so I have to take a break and have some water and to take it easy. By the way, to take care of your voice, 2 to 3 quarts of water per day. You really have to drink your water. This is an everyday, all the time process. Part of your professional commitment. You're choking down that last cup of water going, oh, okay, I'm a pro, yes. For me it's easy, it's just a habit, all the time, always taking care of the voice. Okay, if I have one volunteer that wouldn't mind getting up and closing that door.
I will.
Thank you so much. I don't want to keep anybody out, and I hope they'll open the door and come in, but noise is noise, and there's a reason we are in these multi-million-dollar studios where you couldn't hear a nuclear bomb go off, 3 blocks from you. Sometimes they're even underground, It's that dead of sound, right? See what a difference that made?
I just put this away.
But I won't. Okay, so I'm sure every one of you at some point has imitated someone. Okay? Like my first teacher that I really, really disliked in school was Mrs. Schwartz. Okay? And I did an impression of Mrs. Schwartz because she was a bitch. And so she'd say stuff like, your problem is you just don't, you know. You know what, that's an impression. That's actually a character voice. Everybody does it. The guy cut you off in traffic? Mm-hmm. You probably thought what he was thinking. Well, I don't care. I got a BMW, you know. Come on in. Thanks for being here. Good, more victims. I see the regiment is well represented here today. I was at Anime Los Angeles in January and 30 showed up like that, and they had actually all met and practiced. It was the most awesome thing. They lined up for review, you know. I got pictures of them, yeah, cool, you know. So I appreciate that, it was great. All right, I was talking about how all of us do impressions of voices and how we do that person that we dislike, like a teacher or a parent sometimes, you know. Clean up your room, clean up your room. They tell me here, clean up your room. Okay, that's an impression of your mom or your dad, you know. Or in my case, my caseworker, but we'll leave my parole out of this, okay. I'm kidding, I've never been caught. I mean, I'm a good guy, no. Actually, that is true, I've never been caught. I stopped doing stuff like that a long time ago because I want to be an actor. I want to be a professional. And ruining my voice with drugs and things like that, no, stop it, you know. So you really do have to clean up your act, as it were. All right, when I talk about voice maker and what we do when we do impressions, we are doing character voices, and without knowing it, we're changing what is called resonance, okay? We have 4 resonating chambers. The nasal, the mask, what they call that, okay? And here, the oral resonance, the throat resonance, and the chest resonance. Okay, these are the 4 chambers. Here's how we change. Listen between this voice, and now listen between this voice. You hear I went from one to the other, 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 to the other. Freeze, slime ball! Wow. Exploding microphones, put that on the list for next year. Thank you. Man on the camera, he has to do everything. Got the door, you know, create ordinance, I like that. So, when we do that, when we change, what did you hear me do there? Where did my resonance, my placement of my voice go? I just pointed at it, but, and you just did it too. Right. I went nasal. You hear that? Right. I put more resonance up in my nasal passage right up here. Now, what happens when you have a cold? Come on in. See, I even keep the voice going like this. What happens when you have a cold? What's happening to your voice now? Well, it's not deeper. The placement, this is the same thing right here as my normal placement, so I'm not actually going deeper. Or higher, for that matter. But I'm doing something different. Yeah. Now, that makes you yawn, and there's a reason for that. Okay, yeah. Actually, it's, I'm denasalizing. People go, well, you have a cold, you're nasal. No, you're denasal. You can't get any air out of there. So you end up talking like this, and you can't do your ends and your ems. You hear? I can't say, like, I'm wearing a ring. I'm wearing a ring. That's a resonance, and this is and because the air is coming out of my nose. When you get a cold, you can't do that anymore. So now you've got, you know, that. Now, if I really want to accentuate this and do more of it, I'll put a cough. Excuse me, I've got a cold in my nose, and my throat's itchy, and I can't see, and I have arthritis and all sorts of things. Now, what would that be? Well, yeah. Close to. It's worse than dead. I've been sick sometimes, but I said dead is more comfortable, you know. In fact, that's a character voice. I did a series called Mummy Nanny, and I did something like 15 characters in that thing. And they just threw them at me. This, by the way, is something you as an actor must have ready. You need to be able to reach into your front pocket and say, I have another voice. Because I showed up for sessions where I had to be Dracula, Frankenstein, and that character who was a guy in the waiting room of a hospital. And the director said, okay, this next guy in this next scene, and you have to just come up with the voices. They have to be ready. Ready, ready, ready. It's fun and challenging to create them, but also then you have to, you know, practice. And I'll talk a little bit about how you do that. Now, when he said this guy's in a hospital waiting room, what might be true about that guy? He's in a hospital. Right, might he be sick? And somebody said, how do you come up with those ideas for characters? I said, well, look where they are. You know, there's an an idea. Suppose, for instance, somebody said, okay, this next character is in Italy. Gee, you think an Italian accent might work? Wow, that doesn't take a scientist to come up with answers sometimes. Oh yeah, I see where he is, he's fine. Well, I went ahead and I have that cold voice. That's the one, it's a character voice I have on my demo, you know. And on the demo I see a new Nissan Sentra, but I said, I see a new Nissan Sentra. That's on my demo. It's a character voice. I can bring it up. And that's what I did. I decided I'm going to go ahead and just make this guy have a cold. And his character was this boring individual that is fascinated by carpet. And he talks about carpeting to anyone and everyone all the time. And in every scene he's in, everybody's doing this. And he goes on, well, in the old days when they had plush carpeting, you know, they had to have thicker padding, but then when you put the staples in the side of the wall to keep it down, and this guy was going on and on and on. And I picked up that character because I thought, let's just go ahead and put that voice to it because the lines were even funnier, you know. Otherwise, yeah, it's just about a guy droning on about carpeting.